To say that it is an honor for me to be preaching here today is a vast understatement. It's also quite surreal for me, and I'll tell you more why in a few minutes. In case we have not met before, my name is Vicky Daub. I'm a fourth-generation Northern Colorado native and lifelong Lutheran. Besides Bethany, I have been a member at 4 other Rocky Mountain Synod churches along the Front Range. I've been married to my husband, Larry, for more than 30 years. He's standing in the back there. Larry is a Vietnam veteran who served in the United States Air Force for more than 20 years in the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I'm grateful, Pastor Nate and Pastor Gary, for this opportunity to preach here today. I mentioned just a moment ago that it is surreal for me to be preaching in this spot today. Now let me tell you the story why. In June 2011, I retired from teaching math at Eagle Crest High School in the Cherry Creek School District. That summer and fall, I spent time volunteering at Metro Caring with Larry. I also volunteered at Coble Library. On Thanksgiving Eve in 2011, Larry and I attended worship here. I was singing in the chancel choir, and Larry was ushering that night. Michael Peterson, a country music artist, performed here. During a break in his show, he stood right here in this spot and told us that 20 veterans a day were completing suicide in our country. As Larry and I drove home from worship that night, we talked and knew that God was asking us to take action to help our country's veterans. Heather Ely from Project Sanctuary was also present at Bethany that night. This organization was founded in 2007 as a respite for military and veteran families. We volunteered at the January 2012 Project Sanctuary Retreat, the first one that was after November of 2011, and most of their other retreats that year. One of Larry's God-given talents, those of you that know him, is serving others. Of course, as I already mentioned, Larry is a veteran. From the beginning, Larry fit right in. I must admit, it was tougher for me, though, since I didn't meet Larry until after he had left the Air Force. As such, I had never served as a military wife. My God-given talents include my ability to teach others and being good at math. Neither one of these talents was especially useful at Project Sanctuary retreats, but I did my best to help any way I could. One thing that both of us observed after the first retreat there in January of 2012 is the transformation that each person present had from the beginning when they showed up on Friday night till they left on Wednesday morning. And we saw this pattern repeated for the literally hundreds of retreats that we attended in the next 8 years. And although one veteran suicide is one too many, in those 8 years, there was one veteran that completed suicide. And we had heard from Michael Peterson that there were 20 a day. So we knew that something transformational was happening. I have to pick where we go. Okay. Toward the end of 2012, we were asked to become healthy marriage facilitators, also known as teachers, for the retreats starting in 2013. Alleluia, I had found my retreat niche. We facilitated healthy marriage seminars not only at Project Sanctuary retreats, but also for other nonprofits all over the country. This continued until early 2019. And again, heartfelt thank yous not only to Pastor Gary and Pastor Nate, but also Pastor Ron Glusenkamp, who got us started, and Janet Mortensen. These 4 faithfully supported us as we worked with veterans all over the country. It should be emphasized that we did not have the talents to facilitate healthy marriage seminars on our own. As such, we partnered with 2 Colorado nonprofits, the Center for Relationship Education, who scheduled our workshops, and an organization called PrEP, who provided our workshop materials. Veteran Servant Corps Project continues to work with PrEP to this day. In early 2017, Larry learned that he had multiple myeloma. Until then, he didn't know that he had been exposed to Agent Orange while serving in the Vietnam War. With Janet's help, we connected with Dr. Rifkin at Rocky Mountain Cancer Center. Dr. Rifkin is a multiple myeloma expert, and he's located right here in the Denver area. He assured us that Larry could continue as a healthy marriage facilitator, even providing us with his personal cell phone number to use if Larry became ill while we were traveling. Dr. Rifkin continues to be Larry's physician today. In early 2017, having had enough time to internalize and accept Larry's multiple myeloma diagnosis, we decided that next steps included me going to seminary. So I had a path forward to continue serving veterans with or without Larry. I started classes at Luther Seminary in September 2017. 2/3 of my classes were online, which was important to me because I needed to stay home and support Larry. When I needed to attend classes in person, Larry traveled with me to wherever my courses were. I graduated with my Christian ministry degree in May of 2019, eager to go and start serving veterans. I had a few months to wait, though, and to suffice it to say, waiting is not one of my strong suits. Finally, and it seemed to me like this lasted forever, but it was only 10 months, in February 2020, Bishop Jim Gonya, Pastor Gary, and I met and developed what would become Veteran Servant Corps Project. Notice it was late 2020. Despite the COVID pandemic that was upon us just a few weeks later, Veteran Servant Corps Project was approved as a self-funded Rocky Mountain Synod ministry on October 1st, 2020. Self-funded means we are not part of the Rocky Mountain Synod budget, and we operate with your donations. I am the organization's executive director. I serve with 6 other board members. Faithfully, all of us serve from across the Rocky Mountain Synod. One of our key initiatives that has been delayed because of the pandemic are veteran retreats that Larry and I are so important. And I'm happy to announce that Veteran Servant Corps Project is planning 2 retreats for veterans and their families at Rainbow Trail in 2024. I'm an overachiever, so I also serve as a member of Colorado's Joining Community Forces organization, a group of more than 400 organizations that support veterans in Colorado. And I'm also a member of Voices for Justice, a mission task force of the Colorado Council of Churches. In this role, I have lobbied for various veterans and military bills since 2021. At the 2022 Theological Conference, Bishop Jim and I talked about me beginning supply pastor work in the Rocky Mountain Synod. There was a shortage of pastors in our synod for the first time due to the worldwide pandemic. Since then, I have regularly served at other Rocky Mountain Synod congregations as both a supply pastor or a guest preacher. I have also been honored to preside at 3 military funerals. Again, all funds earned from any of these endeavors by me had been donated to Veteran Servant Corps Project. Just a few weeks ago, I just love how God works. Literally, a few weeks ago before this sermon, Wendy Healy, a writer from Living Lutheran, asked to interview me for an article to appear in their November-December 2023 magazine. Wendy titled the article, "Serving Those Who Served." Although the magazine has not yet been released, I have copies of the article to share with you today. So we got 2 pages in the Living Lutheran, and there are copies of these back in the fellowship hall at the table Larry and I will be at. It details how Veteran Servant Corps Project provides worship services at veterans' homes around the Rocky Mountain Synod, as well as the other services we offer to veterans. The 2023 National Veteran Suicide Prevention Annual Report, that's a mouthful, was released 2 days ago by the VA. Coincidence? I think not. The report stated that 17 veterans, now remember in 2011, it was 20, that 17 veterans completed suicide in 2021 each day. The latest year data is available. Now, I know 17 is 17 too many, but to move during a worldwide pandemic from a bigger number to a smaller number is a big deal, because isolation for those that are contemplating suicide is an influencing factor. The report concluded and said these words: "To reach all veterans, we need all of you to help, including veteran service organizations, faith communities, and our nation. Anchored in hope, we move forward together with each of you, knowing that we have much yet to learn, but fueled by the knowledge that we can make a difference in the lives of veterans around us. Today is Generosity Sunday here at Bethany. After worship, various Bethany partners will be in the fellowship hall. And by the way, it's the MOPS sale too. Please take time to go and talk with all of Bethany's partners. Larry and I will be at the Veteran Servant Corps Project table if you would like to stop by and learn more about this organization. Copies of the Living Lutheran article, as I mentioned earlier, will also be there for you to take. For the past 12 years, my heart has been filled with gratitude. Every time I have told or thought about this story, I continue to be grateful for that worship service all those years ago, and for all those who have supported Larry and I ever since. Amen. And I have no idea. I think we're going to stand and sing after the proclamation. Is that what we do next? Yeah. I don't do this here very well. I think we're going to, you should see me at churches, I really don't know. I think we're going to stand and sing a song, so let's do that now.
It is our collective faith that moves us